top 5 demons under Satan.
Once it gets into a culture, then it becomes extraordinarily difficult to get out of. Our culture is in a particular precarious situation. Underneath Satan, there are what we call the 5 generals. The 5 generals are the 5 demons that are immediately hierarchically underneath Satan, and they are the ones who execute his plans. In some cases, they call it the table, because it's basically they get to divide up certain things. The first demon under him is Baal. Satan actually is the demon of impurity, but Baal is a demon of impurity. His principal function is to get cultures to succumb to impurity, primarily through fornication. Once the fornication sets in, from that arises the idea that sex should be recreational and that you can use it for any way you get pleasure. That's fine. So Baal lays the groundwork. We saw this in our own country. It was called the free love movement. The next thing he tries to do is, although in our country he managed to pull something off that was rather extraordinary. The next thing is after that, as we read from St. Paul, God delivers men and women up to their lusts, and men will start to want to sleep with men and women with women, which basically means what? Once the spirit of fornication sets in, which, by the way, I don't know if you noticed, in the New Rite, they removed from the spirit of fornication, deliver us from the Litany of Saints, at the very time that the free love movement gained ascendancy. What we pray for is what we get. You don't pray for it, you're not going to get it. After that, then what happens is the culture, the next 3 demons show up. The first is Asmodeus. He's the demon of homosexuality in men. Then there's the demon of Leviathan, which is the demon of homosexuality in men, but of the masculine kind. These are the women who are heavy on the heels, we would say. Then there is the spirit of Lilith, which is the more seductive form of female homosexuality. After those have gained ascendancy in a culture, which, by the way, if you look at the cultures, every single culture is pushed in this direction. Historically, not just ours, but historically, this is always the progression. Once you have fornication, you end up with contraception, and then the upshot of that is homosexuality and then abortion. Baphomet is the 5th one, and he's the demon of child sacrifice, abortion. In our culture, think of this. They shot down the fornication laws, and so they delivered us into the hands of Baal. Then they had Roe versus Wade and delivered us into the hands of Baphomet. And then they allowed gay marriage, and so now our country politically is in the hold of the top 5 demons in hell other than Satan. They delivered us into their hands.
It's the book of Ephesians, chapter 6, verse 11. Put on the whole armor of Yahweh, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Shalom, shalom. First off, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash, Yahweh being the true name for the Heavenly Father, Yahushai being named for his only begotten Son, who the world ignorantly calls God, and Jesus Christ. I want to give double honors to our apostles and elders, great millstone, to us truth and will well, and salutations to you, hopeful like in this truth and honesty and sincerity. Spirit of Yahweh, Cornelius, Spirit Power, Yahweh Yahushai. And just came across that quick clip, showing you the wickedness of America, which is referred to within the scriptures as Babylon the Great, mother of all harlots, a place spiritually called Sodom and Egypt. Clearly this is the demons that are ruling this nation as far as that spirit, but ultimately it's not just this nation, man. It's this whole world that that Satan, has his stronghold on. Okay. And we can get that within the scriptures. There's just high demonic powers and entities that rule certain kingdoms. So when we read in the scripture in Ephesians, it says we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities. So principalities, all right, if we look this up here, a state ruled by a prince, the 5th highest order in the 9-fold celestial hierarchy, all right. So basically against governments, man. And these type of governments that rule this nation, they their God, when they say in God we trust, they're not talking about, you know, these government entities, they've gotten their success through worshiping the spiritual demon Satan. Okay? All right, we can find the account of, how Satan's busy throughout the earth right here in the book of Job. This is Job 1, verse 6. It says, "Now there was a day when the sons of Yahweh came to present themselves before Yahweh, and Satan came also among them. And Yahweh said unto Satan, Whence comest thou? Then Satan answered Yahweh and said, From going to and fro in the earth and walking up and down in it." Okay, so he's busy. He has these other demons and entities that work for him, but ultimately they all work for the Lord. They all work for the Lord, man. Okay, because Satan is that lying spirit that the Lord sent in the earth to basically deceive Esau, Edom, into thinking that he's going to gain so much power and everlasting rulership, and ultimately he's going to deceive him and betray him, and Esau's going to see his downfall. He's going to die by his own sword, and Jacob's going to rise. But Satan is just a sifting instrument, man, for Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Get me, see who's going to fold, not serve him, and who isn't worthy of grace and mercy and salvation. That's all his job is, But ultimately, you have a wicked people. They pray and worship. They pray and worship to the spiritual demon Satan, man. Okay, we can get that account of that as well, of when Satan, is sent by Yahweh in the earth to bring down wicked heathens, wicked people, wicked men. 2 Chronicles chapter 18. All right, so Esau, Edom, you guys fell for this, man, because there's no righteousness in you. And that's the so-called white people out of the nation of Esau, Edom. 2 Chronicles chapter 18, we go down and start verse 20. It says, "Then there came out a spirit and stood before Yahweh and said, I will entice him." Okay, that's spiritual demon Satan. It says, "And Yahweh said unto him, Wherewith? And he said, I will go out and be a lying spirit in the mouth of all his prophets. And Yahweh said, Thou shalt entice him, and thou shalt also prevail. Go out and do even so." You see? So you have people that basically do witchcraft. You have high level witches and warlocks, all right, that are advisors of these different governments, and they have to meet at Bohemian Grove, the Illuminati. They do rituals, they do sacrifices, and basically they believe that by doing those things they get more wealth and more control of the world if they do enough sacrifices in the right way. All right, and so they take advice from these high level witches and warlocks and shit like that are doing the sacrifices and they're in charge of those things, and they're telling them, hey, look, I spoke to this demon, the spirit. There may be an actual demon that will manifest itself and tell them that the sacrifice was accepted, and they're going to get all this money or all this success and all this dominance and control over a particular country or a particular people. Okay, and they do this shit religiously every single year, and they've created certain holidays to help with this, and that's holidays such as Samhain, or spelled Samhain, which is aka Halloween. You have Saturnalia, which is known as Christmas. They all have heavy demonic roots and subliminal rituals are tied to them. Birthdays, celebrations. Okay, and then they take it further up when you get into Freemasonry and Illuminati and shit like that. They do blood sacrifices. They sacrifice children and all types of things, man, to these different demons, these different entities. And it said that in Illuminati, in some of their meetings, they have at the higher elites with these Rothschilds and shit like that, they have a room where they do these rituals and shit at, and there's a certain chair that these higher people sit, and there's always an empty chair for the spiritual demon himself to sit at. So this is that lying spirit talks to them and convinces them to do all these things, and has given them physical money and success. That's what the whole selling your soul comes from. When you warn people about trying to become entertainers in these industries, they got to be a part of this shit, man. Okay, it says verse 22, now therefore behold, Yahweh hath put a lying spirit in the mouth of these thy prophets, and Yahweh has spoken evil against thee. Okay, so hey man, eventually that wicked king was put to death. That kingdom was taken over by that lying spirit, and it was today Esau's Edom kingdoms. He's gonna be taken over, man, by this lying spirit. These demons, these entities that they worship. This is the book of Isaiah 29:15. It says, woe unto them that seek deep to hide their counsel from Yahweh, and their works are in the dark. And they say, who seeth us and who knoweth us? Right, man. They believe in the spiritual demon Satan, but they don't understand if a spiritual demon Satan exists, then the opposite of him must exist as well, which would be who? The higher power, the creator, Yahweh. Okay? But Esau, Edom, man, he is the perfect devil. He's doing what he was created to do, man. He's a sword. He sheds blood. He's a punishment unto the nation of Israel when we go off. But they actually believe and are convinced, the higher powers and elites, they're convinced that they're going to have a chance to fight against Yahweh himself. Because why? That lying spirit is feeding them all this information, man. They have these technologies. They come up with weapons of mass destruction. You wouldn't be surprised if they got that knowledge that was fed to them by a spiritual demon itself, giving them ideas and thoughts to create these weapons of mass destruction and create bioweapons and shit like that. This is the book of Job 9:24. It says, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? So this means the people that are ruling the earth right now, they are the wicked, man. Okay, remember the interaction that Yahushua had, who the world English calls Jesus Christ, that when he had with spiritual demon Satan, what did he say to him? Let's get it. It's the book of Matthew 4, verse 1. It says, then Yahushua led up of the spirit into the wilderness to be tempted of the devil. And when he had fasted 40 days and 40 nights, he was afterward and hungered. And when the tempter came to him, he said, if thou be son of Yahweh, command that these stones may be made bread. But he answered and said, it is written, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of Yahweh. So we're supposed to live by the Lord's law, statutes, and commandments, not by Satan's. Right? Verse 5 says, then the devil taketh him up into the holy city, and setteth him on a pinnacle of the temple, and saith unto him, if thou be the son of Yahweh, cast thyself down, for it is written, he shall give his angels charge concerning thee, and in their hands they shall bear thee up, lest at any time thou dash thy foot against a stone. Yahushua said unto him, it is written again, thou shalt not tempt the Lord thy God. All right, here's getting to the point. Verse 8 says, again, the devil taketh him up unto an exceeding high mountain, and showeth him all the kingdoms of the world and the glory of them, and saith unto him, all these things will I give thee, if thou wilt fall down and worship me. So, physically in the earth, Satan has a stronghold and rulership over the wicked kingdoms of this earth. Okay? But he does not control Yahweh's kingdom, Yahushai's kingdom, that's going to be built on earth as it is in heaven. He's not going to have control of that. But this physical worldly kingdom of this world, spiritual demon Satan is running. Okay? And he said, look, I'm going to give you these kingdoms if you bow down and worship me. And that's what he's done. He's made the same offer to Esau, Edom, and these other heathen nations right now on this earth. So they've accepted that offer. Okay? And that's where you have all these different religions. They're trying to work on one world religion, worshiping all these entities that was expressed in the video. They get more money, power, and control, they believe, by doing that. So they bow down and worship Satan. We bow down and worship Yahweh Yahushai. So we have everlasting riches and kingdoms and wealth and righteousness that's not tainted. When you sign that blood contract, it's a blood contract between you and Satan. You get those things spiritually temporarily, but it comes with a cost. That cost is death. You're going to be destroyed and terrible things will happen in your life. You'll be tortured, all types of shit once you take the wrong contract, man. And these people spiritually accept this contract by choosing to be of the world and choosing to follow the ways of the world and all these wicked holidays. You had Mother's Day that just passed. That's Queen of Heaven worship. There's all sorts of days throughout the year and certain months that give up spiritual demonic sacrifices. This whole nation is run by that. So that's why it's going to be destroyed. That's why it's going to be destroyed by fire, man. Okay? This place is going to be burned in a lake of fire behind all this wickedness. So you have to wake up out of your sleep and set yourself a part of that, man. Okay? This is the book of Exodus 23:2. It says, "Thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil, neither shalt thou speak in a cause to decline after many to wrest judgment." So don't follow a bunch of people to do spiritual wickedness and evil and witchcraft. Just because the world decided to bow down to these demons and shit like that doesn't mean you need to do it, man. You need to recognize who's in control of all those entities. You need to fear him than Satan, man. This is Matthew 4:10. It says, "Then saith Yahushua unto him, Get thee hence, Satan, for it is written, Thou shalt worship Yahweh thy God, and him only shalt thou serve." There you go, man. So that's the spirit you have to have, man, because this place is gone. And you have to open your eyes and read and study and pay attention to around you to see the evil. Look into these programs and these government things and what they go back to. Look into the architecture and all they do, all the things that's done in secret. They like to call this shit, when we bring out this facts and information on them, they like to call them conspiracy theories. Except they add the incorrect word to the end of that. It's not a theory. These are facts. Your government conspires against you, man. They want your soul. They want you to help them get more energy to gain more power, man. And they don't want to give nothing back in return. And the thing they do make get back in return is some chump change, crumbs, man. They want to put a device in your hand, in your head. They want the perfect slaves. So it's up to you to set yourself apart from it, man. So with that, Lord's will, lessons edifying, close out. Give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahushai, by Hashem, Kakadash, double honors to our apostles and elders, great millstone, Tasha, truth and will well. Salutations to you, hope like percent truth and honest sincerity. Shalom.